Hello and welcome to another episode of Bulletin Broadcast. I'm joined once again by Greg
Hello.
and Jared.
Hey guys.
And again, we're just going to go through what's happened this week in the gaming world. There wasn't much, but we do have a bit to talk about. So
No, Ben, it was the most exciting week of gaming.
It was actually like so shit boring.
There hasn't been anything exciting.
No, okay, so let's start with the PSVR. PlayStation released a series of videos showing what happens when you get your PSVR, taking it out of the box, how to set it up. The videos were really cringy. I don't know.
I was watching one of them, and it really is.
Like, he was like, "Oh yeah, move the dog out of the way," and all of this shit, and I was just like, "Who wrote this? Seriously?"
And the little animated fella who's putting the helmet on looks like he's got a finger up his ass the whole time.
It was the bit in one of the videos. Which one is it? I think it's the third one, where they're like, "Oh, make sure you don't have any lighting in the room so it doesn't interfere with the camera tracking and all of this bollocks."
Wait, you got to do it in pitch black?
As low light as possible.
What?
Because the PlayStation camera is rather shit quality. So basically, instead of packaging the system with a new updated camera, they're using their existing hardware and just sort of compensating for it by making you use low lighting.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with the controllers. I mean, they're using PlayStation Move, which is a very outdated
that's
technology.
PS3 era.
Yeah, exactly.
But the best bit for it was, have you ever watched all three videos?
I glazed through them.
There's a bit in the third video where they're like, "Oh, if you have any curtains or blinds, make sure to close them." And he looks out the window and his neighbor waves at him and he just closes the blind and walks off. It's fucking brilliant. But
that's pretty awesome.
the main thing I got from it was I wouldn't say I felt cheated, but I feel they really dumbed down this setup process.
That's what I feel. I mean, going into it, at least I was thinking that the PlayStation VR would be relatively easy to set up, but
I actually have a quote here from, who's this? This is the SCE Japan Asia Deputy President. He said, "Customers can easily plug the PSVR into the PS4 and it can immediately start the gaming." That he's basically insinuating it's like plug and play when it's really actually far from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there was a setup sequence as well.
You have 3 videos to show how to put.
I know, but at the same time, that's kind of like they didn't really, did they? Because they get ad revenue on every video they make, so let's split it into a 3-part series.
Yep, there you go. It's all about the money.
But there's a specific order you have to turn the components on in. And if you don't turn it on in the right order, they don't work.
Those Sony whores. What they did was they said, "Oh shit, that VR thing sure is cool. Oh, well, maybe we should just raid the warehouses where we've got all these leftover PlayStation moves and let's just jam it in and make it all fit and just say, guys, it's plug and play." And that's what they did.
But the thing is, do they deserve credit for attempting to make VR accessible? Because in reality, if you want a Vive, I mean, Xbox is going to be supporting VR through Oculus.
Yeah.
Vive is on PC, and Vive, although it's £800, Vive is by far the most superior VR system out there.
It's definitely the best out of the 3.
But you also need a PC that costs about £1,500 to be able to run it.
So it's one of those. Go on, Jared.
PlayStation VR is probably the most consumer friendly because the other ones are just, I feel like it's not for the everyday consumer because of how expensive they are. And like you said, with the Vive, you need a good PC that's going to be able to run these games as well.
The problem I have is I was reading reviews because I didn't actually, when I was at EGX, I had the chance to play the PSVR, but I didn't
Yeah.
book the appointment to be able to do it. You had to join a waiting list and be on and it was like, if you're not here at your time, you have 5 minutes, otherwise we're not letting you in, and all of this kind of bollocks. So I didn't bother with it, but I was reading reviews of people who were playing it, and they were saying that it's very shoddily made. Apparently the screens they use in the headset make it very easy to get motion sickness, and it's not a very pleasant experience if you're playing for a long period of time.
Yeah. And I heard that's a problem with like a lot of people with a lot of the VR headsets, is they do get the motion sickness and stuff like that as well.
Which means that you have to, as far as I'm aware, you can play it on PS4, but it's recommended that you play it on PS4 Pro because that has the upgraded frame rate. So it can.
Now you have to have a PS4 Pro to get the full good experience.
Because basically, motion sickness in VR all comes down to the frame rate. If the frame rate isn't the correct frame rate, then that's what causes the motion sickness. And it's like, yeah, you can play it on PS4, but it's not the best one. You kind of really need our new product to be able to do it. And
that sucks. I mean,
it just feels like typical Sony. And
like being cheated out of it. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the way they're trying to make this. It's not a new console. It's a mid-generation release.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm one of those people who's like, just give me the product, just delay the console and then just give me the finished product. If you know 4K is going to be a thing, don't make me buy a PS4 and then 2 years later buy a 4K.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't mind waiting if we're going to get better quality. Like, delay it, that's fine. Make it so it works, and when we actually have it, it's functioning.
Greg, you're being awfully quiet.
I am. I'm biding my time, and then like a crocodile, I'm going to come up and snap with my witty lines.
I'm waiting for the death roll.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here and thinking that I don't give a fuck about VR. And I actually, it's sad because I would have liked to give a fuck about it, but even if it's the perfect experience, the Vive or whatever, and it's like ideal, and I can, like, some scenario where I can afford it and all of the things I need to run it perfectly, I still think I'd prefer to do my main sit down, play a game for 4 hours, go to bed situation without the VR.
Yeah.
I don't see myself wanting to play the VR for long periods of time. I don't see it fitting the way I like to play games, and probably the way most gamers like to play games.
The problem is... Go on, Jared, go on.
No, I was going to say, I totally agree. I don't ever see PlayStation VR becoming a main source of gaming, like replacing normal gaming and stuff like that as well.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, not at the minute, because everything that's out at the minute is like demos. Yeah, like tech demos, like the Resident Evil demo that's going to be coming out, the Batman demo. They're cool, but they're not games. But at the same point, you look at games like Rigs. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. That's a PS4 game where you basically run around in a mech suit and shoot other players. It's like COD, but in mech suits. And it's a VR game. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I need PS Move. But I can see myself playing that, I can see myself... I don't have the 6 foot by 3 foot play area that you need for the PSVR.
And see, with like the Vive, it's an even bigger expanse because you have that big wire that's hanging down from the headset as well too. So that's another issue.
The thing is, with the Vive, you literally need a room. Like, you don't need an area. I've seen when I was at EGX, they had people playing on Vives, and they literally had stalls with nothing in them. They had tables outside the stalls because they was like, no, we can't put it in there because it interferes with the Vive.
Yeah, you have to have the space.
It's ridiculous.
It seems to me like they're hoping to capture the same crowd that the Wii did, like 8 years from now, whenever it was when the Wii came out. Which, I mean, the Wii never really infused hardcore gamers, I say with quote marks, but it brought in a lot of mums and dads and, you know, family games. And
there was a lot of people that didn't know about gaming that knew about the Wii.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've got friends that's like, you know, still they're never going to buy a games console in their life except for the Wii, and they only have Wii Sports, and that's fun for them. That's their experience in gaming.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I think that's what they're hoping. They want to recapture that same storm. They want to generate interest on Oprah Winfrey and all of these American talk shows, and, you know, generate interest with families and things like that, and get Christmas presents and all of that sort of thing. Like, that's what they're targeting. I feel like they know that hardcore gamers like us aren't really that interested. I mean, some of us are, sure, and the people with the money are going to go for it. But really, what they're hoping for is mum and dad to buy it, because the way it sounds is it needs a lot of space. It's got to go in the living room. It costs a lot of money. It's got to be bought by mum and dad. It's just that I don't think they're planning on targeting people like us.
I don't know. I agree. For me, PS, in virtual reality in general, if I was to give someone advice on it, I'd say just wait. Just wait it out, because it will get there. Yeah. But it's going to be a couple of, I say more than a couple of years. I reckon about 3 or 4 before
definitely
it becomes the main staple that people reckon it's going to become. But it will get there.
Well, like you said, like now a lot of just the games are essentially just tech demos to show off the VR experience.
Ben, let's be honest here. We're going to be married with kids and Jared's going to be dead by the time VR gets to that point.
Wow. Is that just because he's American? Is that what it is? Yeah?
I mean, I got feedback on last week's episode and they said, Greg, we like the show, but you didn't harass Jared enough. That's what they said. So I've got to.
We got to give the people what they want.
That's it.
For the audience.
Talking about stuff that people like, let's talk about Undertale. I fucking adore this game. I really, really do. Have you guys played it?
I've seen all the craziness about it. I personally haven't played it, but I've seen just how many people absolutely fell in love with Undertale.
I haven't. Okay, right. I say I'm in love with the game. I haven't played it, but I have watched both. I know, but this is the thing I love about the game is I have watched both the pacifist run through and the run through where you murder the genocide run through.
Yeah. And that's I've watched run-throughs of the game as well, and it looks really interesting and it looks awesome. I just personally haven't played it.
But the thing is, it amazed me that a game that I've never played, I could grow that attached to a game that I haven't even played. Yeah. So basically, Undertale has a massive fan following, even though it's kind of quote unquote old in terms of gaming, I suppose, because it's been out for a fair while now.
Yeah.
It still has quite a big backing, and there is a charity called Gamers for Good who are going to be using it to raise awareness for mental health. Which
I think Undertale is like the perfect way to go, because like you said, Undertale just has this massive fan base, and what better way to use Undertale to get awareness out about all these mental health problems and stuff.
It's awesome. They're going to be using fan art, and then they're going to take the best fan art and construct it into a book, and then you can buy the book, and all of the proceeds go to the charities. It's just awesome. It still baffles me. The game was made by one guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I'm always happy to see any kind of cause that is, you know, positive and it's linking with games culture, because I mean, gamers are a pretty passionate bunch of people, and it's nice to channel some of that passion into a helpful cause instead of being like, now you are on the wrong console, fuck off.
Is that how the consumers sound? Just like that.
That's how I think in my head of people that are just terrible and rude on forums and things, and they just pick on people because they've got the wrong console. They're a console kitty. And
I mean, just I don't know. It just baffles me that
It definitely does. I mean, like you
something
said, this
that's a
game is not.
hobby.
It's not new. I mean, it's been out for quite a while, but it still has this massive backing to it as well.
It's just there's something about it that's just so awesome. I mean, so like, if you do the pacifist run through, and then you finish that and start the genocide run through, there are characters in there who hint at the fact they feel that they've met you before, and there is one who actually remembers past events. I'm not going to go too much into it and spoil everything, but
Yeah.
one of them, like you try and defeat them, and if you lose, you save the game. Like you load your save, you go back, and he's like, "Oh, you had to reboot from your save, did you?" And all of this, and it's just the kind of I'm a sucker for anything that breaks the fourth wall. Anything that breaks the fourth wall for me was just amazing. That's why I love, like, still to this day, my favorite boss battle of all time is Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear Solid 1.
So he's the one where if you kill him, the way to kill him is you unplug your controller and you put it in the other port or something.
Yeah, and he reads your save file. So he does things like he reads, and if you've saved your game too much, he says, "Oh, you're a very cautious person," and judging on how many times you get caught, how many times you trigger the alarm, you save, as well as other games on your memory card. So he makes references to other save files that you store on your memory card, and I just fucking loved it.
That's awesome.
So good, so awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna get all gushy if I keep on talking.
No, do it, Ben. We need some emotion. Let's get you out.
No. It's October. Let's talk spooky.
Oh, let's talk spooky. Have
Halloween.
you guys ever seen ghosts?
Seen ghosts?
Only two. But
You've seen ghosts?
no, I haven't seen ghosts.
For some reason, I automatically thought of the Patrick Swayze movie. I was like, please, we're not getting down this route again. No. So there was a story in the news this week about Overwatch, and it started off as the leak on Reddit, and somebody was like, "Oh, look what I found on the Xbox One store," and it was basically loot boxes for an Overwatch Halloween theme. And what was it? The day after?
Yeah, it was like the day after we actually got the update that rolled out all the Halloween skins, and the levels were all decorated for Halloween and everything. The big Halloween update for Overwatch came out.
Hey, I honestly wasn't surprised. They did it for the Olympics, so I was like, they're gonna do it. They're probably gonna do it for Christmas as well. I mean, I'll call it now.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I love it. It's just an awesome thing to add to this game that's already incredible to begin with.
Do you keep them? So
I
obviously,
think so, because
like once the Olympics finish, do you still have the Olympic skins?
I think I do. I think you still keep the skins after you get them, but you have to obviously receive them before they get rid of all the Halloween stuff and everything.
Oh, okay.
But you do keep them, if I'm correct.
So,
Well, I think that's pretty good. I mean, that they're just adding this in free, just for fun.
yeah, it's just a free update.
Free update.
That's pretty cool. I can get behind that.
Blizzard are doing it right in a minute. They are by far one of the best.
They seem to be killing it right now.
Yeah, I mean, CD Projekt Red kind of killed it with The Witcher 3, but then Blizzard just came out of nowhere with Overwatch, and it just took the world over.
Oh yeah, it was everywhere. And then with all these continuous like free updates with the Olympics and now Halloween, it just makes the game even more fun and exciting.
Because they changed the Rumble as well, don't they?
Yeah, this one's like a horde mode that they added in.
Horde mode, that's awesome. Oh well, I need to get this game bad. Like when I played the beta, and I was like, I'm getting Overwatch. I'm getting Overwatch, and I haven't.
It's very fun and addicting.
Should we talk about it now, or should we save it? Should we talk about video game leaks?
Let's talk about video game leaks, Ben. Let's do it.
Come on,
I think that we need to hit our favorite subject with video game leaks.
We was talking about this, and there was a bit of a divide in the chat.
That's right. Well, when we all came into the office, the Games Bulletin office, and we met around the boardroom table, as we so often do.
Every day.
Ben, he said, I don't think we should report on leaks anymore. And furious, I threw a chair at him.
Yeah.
And we've not talked in hours.
I was very scared. I was surprised we were still gonna do this with all the hate that was going on.
Honestly, Jared, I'm sorry. You looked like a deer in the headlights. You looked terrified.
Yeah, you did kind of bear the brunt of it.
You got pretty heated. I was like, I gotta back up, give Greg some water or something because he's gonna go crazy.
I'm a very rage-filled man.
So I detest video game leaks.
I'm on the same.
I was thinking about this more and more, and the more and more I think about it, I feel that my hatred for video game leaks should be on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
I feel that, it depends what the leak is, because a lot of things classify as a leak these days. And to me, I'm like, it's not really a leak, is it? A lot of things are like, oh, somebody updated their LinkedIn profile to show that they did the artwork for a new Rockstar game. And you're like, okay, well, that's not really a leak to me. That's kind of like, okay, all right, cool. But then when you're getting things that are major game spoilers, that's when I feel that they shouldn't be a part of reporting video game news.
Oh, and Pokemon was the best one for that.
That pissed me off so much.
I mean, Pokemon Sun and Moon, it's not like Overwatch where it was like, oh, this is just an update for a new game. This is a new title for our franchise that's huge and loved. And the game was leaked the day before it came out, and then they announced it, but they didn't announce like any gameplay or anything. They just showed off, oh, we're coming out with a new game.
The thing is,
away from the experience.
The leak gave more information than Nintendo did at the fucking conference. The leak had the free starter Pokemon, where it was going to be set, what was going to happen, what the game titles were. Like, it was like a starter pack of information about these games.
Exactly. And then the next day, when we actually got the Nintendo update, they just showed off the titles. They're like, Pokemon Sun and Moon is coming out. And that was it. And then we're just like... Okay.
And that's the thing, is I adore Pokemon. It's something that's very close to my heart.
Yeah,
so
definitely. I'm on the same level.
I did take that one a bit to heart. But Greg, why? Why do you feel we should report them?
Well, I mean, I think, one, it's important to note that our competition, those bastards, are always gonna report the leaks and things like that. It's what games media do. We are here beholden to our readers, and we're delivering them the news they want to know. And obviously, Ben, as the founder of the site, it's obviously down to you. But I think, not only do I want us to, give the news, and if that's the news of the day, then it's the news of the day. It's also worth noting that leaking isn't... I don't really weep for publishers or game makers or whatever if it gets leaked, because at the end of the day, it's just a bit of information. Even then, they're often wrong, and I don't know. I've lost my train of thought, which is annoying and embarrassing.
It depends who you follow, man. I mean, if you follow like Shinobi on Twitter, he's 99% of the time he's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of roots in a lot of places, and he gets a lot of information. And I think I just missed the days when it was like, can you imagine, like, literally there were websites dedicated to leaking shit for E3 before it even happened.
Yeah, and that's like the thing that sucks, because E3 is the big event that we wait for in the middle of the year so we can see all the games that are coming out. And knowing that prior, it's like leaks are almost expected now. People are expecting leaks to come out, and they're waiting for these leaks to happen before they're supposed to be released.
You could sort of go into the whole quote-unquote conspiracy theory of, are the companies leaking it for marketing, or is it actual leak? But we're not going to go down that route. But I mean...
Oh, aren't we?
We might do.
I might do.
Like, I'm driving down that road. We're going.
Have you guys seen the crowd reaction to the Final Fantasy VII remake? Have you ever actually seen a video of what happened?
I didn't, but I can only imagine that it was incredible.
It was mental. I mean, I was watching the video, And this was one of the things that hadn't been leaked prior to E3. Nobody knew this was happening.
And that's what's exciting about things like a Final Fantasy VII remake, and not knowing about it until it's just right in your face, and you're like, "This is incredible."
And you're sitting there, and I was watching it, and it's done for a guy recorded it from on the floor, so you can see part of the crowd, and then the trailer on the big screen, and it's going through, and there's somebody talking, and then everyone in the crowd is like you can feel the tension because they're making hints about Final Fantasy. And everyone's like, you can feel people on edge, even though you're watching from your computer. You can feel people like, come on, beat Final Fantasy 7, beat Final Fantasy 7. And then Cloud walks through with the fucking Buster, whatever fucking big ass sword that he has, and the room fucking explodes. It is absolutely ridiculous, and I miss that, man.
Yeah, I feel like it's one thing to go into an event and not know, and be shown Final Fantasy VII and not knowing about it and being incredibly like blown away, and then coming in and when they show it, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. They showed that off. I knew that was already going to be here. It was just kind of like the crowd. You said the crowd was booming. I don't think it'd be as much of an excitement. I mean, people would still be excited. But not as much as they didn't know it was already coming.
I get the argument, and I mean that's a good point. I mean, it's really cool when something really something anticipated happens, and like people are like, whoa, we didn't expect that sort of thing, and all of a sudden everyone's super hyped, and that's always really good. But I mean, if something does get leaked, not that we're ever going to encourage leaking or anything indeed, none of us are probably ever going to be in a position to leak anything. I don't think any of us would. I think we'd all respect our contracts and also the work put into it by the game development team. But if it has been leaked, our job as the press is to report that. And I'd also say, I mean, maybe I'm a bit jaded because I've been burned by hype culture before. And Assassin's Creed Unity, I loved everything I saw about it.
That must have
And when
hurt.
I played the game, it was okay. I mean, it was fucking buggy and shit, but I love Assassin's Creed, and I could see past all of that to an extent. And in the end, I was just like, well, everything that you released before this and all of the hype you generated it's just a dead end. This is just a bit of a damp squib. And as 2 weeks afterwards, we get Assassin's Creed Victory being leaked, and I'm just thinking, is this? I mean, this can't be. This can't be not deliberate for them to try to distract people away from the hugely negative.
We're going
backlash.
We're going down the conspiracy theory route, yeah.
I'm just saying that it's
driving down the
road.
You
know what? Right, I hate leaks, and I feel that 25% of leaks are accidental. I feel that somebody gets contracted to do work. And, for instance, like Watch Dogs 2, everyone pretty much knew Watch Dogs 2 was going to happen. And then there was a website called Nerd Leaks, and they basically found out that on this guy's Instagram account, he posted a picture of what we now know as the second game's protagonist.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, it was great doing voice acting for the new Watch Dogs game. He then realised he fucked up. He deleted the post, made his account private, but they did their good old thing, went into the cached version of his Instagram, gained access to the picture, basically confirming the existence of Watch Dogs 2, which everyone kind of knew of anyway. Mm-hmm. That's not deliberate, but I do wonder how many leaks are actually people going, do you know what? If we quote-unquote leak this information, then we're going to get a lot of hype, we're going to get a lot of marketing, and we can just kind of go, oh yeah, we got caught with our pants down, yeah, it is real, sorry about that, guys. And it just feels like, in this day and age, all you have to do is put something on NeoGAF. NeoGAF is one of the most trusted places to fucking leak stuff, because everybody there works in the game industry. You have to be either a press member, a developer, or a publisher to gain access to NeoGAF.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
I've always wondered what NeoGAF is.
When you apply, you have to claim where you work for, and they check it up, and it's like, okay, yeah, you work there, off you go.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Does this mean we can get onto NeoGAF?
Let's do it.
Are we part of club privilege?
I think I tried to apply before, and they were like, no, you can fuck off.
What?
Those exact words just quote.
It was something to that effect, basically because we didn't have the traffic and stuff. We were seen as not worthy.
Thanks a lot.
But it does make you wonder, if like a lot of these people, I mean, even now, fair enough, they're indie developers, okay, but I have a friend who owns his own indie studio who's creating a game called Overstep. I got quite close to a guy called Andy who owns Fairy Tale Dragon, which is another indie studio who are making a VR puzzle game. And there's like, even fair enough, they're low grade, but I'm still sort of making connections.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I had the traffic, if I could turn around and say, well, dude, our site's hitting fucking 70,000 views a day, you pass a bit of information my way, I can build a bit of hype for your game. It's free advertising, You haven't got to build a reveal trailer, because there's no need for a reveal trailer, because somebody leaks the information and you just put your hands up. Yeah, it's true. Here's a screenshot to prove it. Exactly, yeah.
I tell you what we'll do to springboard ourselves to sudden success, then you've got to start telling people that you sucked Hideo Kojima's dick.
Do you know what? I wish that was true, but go on. I fucking adore that man. He is my idol.
Oh, man.
Well, you're halfway there, then.
You're halfway there. You're halfway there, Ben.
That makes it basically true.
Confirmed.
That's our journalistic integrity on show.
But the whole argument I had about not reporting leaks was because...
Well, it's because you didn't believe in the culture of leaking things.
Yeah, I feel that...
Say one thing and then post about these leaks is kind of like...
Do you know, like, it's kind of... I don't want to sound like a dickhead, but in terms of reporting... in terms of reporting leaks, I take a step back and I swallow my pride and I say, right, for the good of the site, rather than what I want, for the good of the site, as Greg said, we have to report this.
Yeah.
Because
like I said,
regardless of my belief, it's news.
Yeah.
And
leaks are becoming more expected. From people are wanting to see these leaks. If it happens, they're going to go to the places that are talking about these leaks.
Exactly.
It's expected, and that's what people want. So it's just like...
And I was kind of like...
Just suck it up and...
I was kind of like, if we don't report leaks, we can kind of not be a part of that culture. And then we can kind of step back and go, oh, fuck you leaking stuff. Oh, we don't do that.
Yeah.
But that's my personal belief. So for the good of the site, I can't execute that, because I would be putting us at such a serious disadvantage if I did.
Well, I mean, it's all about weighing up our competitiveness as opposed to, I mean, your own personal integrity. I mean, if this is something you feel really strongly about, and then go for it, then, this is something that you don't want to change and you don't want to fan the flames of leak culture, then by all means, we'll stand by you, Ben. We'll follow you into hell.
I appreciate
follow
that.
you into battle.
But let me ask you a question of a moral dilemma.
Oh, ethics. I love it.
I'm at an event, say, I don't know, I somehow make it to E3.
Okay.
Right.
I'm interviewing somebody on video. I'm asking them about what their studio's doing. I don't know, for instance, say I'm interviewing, I don't know, fucking Blizzard. And they're saying like, oh yeah, we're making another Overwatch-esque game.
Okay.
And, he's sort of like, oh yeah, Overwatch was so successful, we're making another first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
If information was given to me and I had video proof that this is what the game's going to be and this is what it is, I I get the moral dilemma of, okay, I don't believe in leaks, and this is technically exclusive info that hasn't been released anywhere else.
So he's told this person's told you this under the impression you'll keep it secret. You're saying.
Well, I mean, if you're doing it on recording, I don't think if he's aware that he's recording this.
Okay, let's say that basically, I am friendly with somebody who owns a big studio, and they have divulged to me and confided in me that they are doing a new project.
I feel like if that's the case, then you'd
right. See,
like respect him, unless it was like his like. Okay, I mean, if you want to leak this, I'm not gonna say anything about
this
it. Like
is the thing, but
conspiracy theory about companies.
What's to stop me going on NeoGAF under a name that's not linked to me, putting this on NeoGAF, and then writing an article and saying, "Oh look, this dude on NeoGAF said," and then
the trouble is
stopping you.
But then the amount of traffic that would drive to the website is unreal.
It's true, but ethically, is it worth throwing this fella under the bus for ad traffic? I don't know if that's ever going to be something.
No, I would just off the bat, I would never ever do that. But what I'm saying is, you know, if something was brought to me that is a leak, or if I saw something that's a leak, I wouldn't personally want to report that, because that's not what I'm about. That's not, as a person, I don't endorse that at all.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, you know, like for the good of the site and for what it would do for the site and the people it would bring in, the exposure that we would potentially get, I would do it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
There's very much a conflict there.
You can do that.
If you were reporting on someone else leaking something, then if someone told you something in private and you went off and leaked it and then reported it, I feel like that's two different things.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. But what I'm saying is, if I come across something and I'm the first person to come across it, do I leak it? Like, for instance, with the Overwatch thing, if I'm scrolling through and I find something big, I don't know, say I'm on YouTube and for a minute, a private video becomes public and it's the trailer for a new game. The game's supposed to be under embargo. They don't want that game out, but I don't know that. All I know is, oh look, there's a public trailer. And then I see, oh, I got it, okay, it's gone private. I now potentially, you know, being the quote-unquote journalist that I am, I would have downloaded that video to have as a physical video.
Well, here would be the realities that would come next. One, you would drive a lot of traffic and interest to the site. That'd be cool. But two, you might either burn a bridge or certainly damage heavily a bridge with a developer or whatever that may not want to work with us in the future if we go on to further things. That's going to be refused interviews. That's going to be no review copies. That's going to be blacklisting. And I don't know. Personally, I would, under that situation, I'd leak it, because that's the journalism in the words game journalism.
That's what I mean. That's kind of that's what I mean. Like, is it one of those things that you turn around and go, "Hey, dude, well, I came across the trailer. I found exclusive news. I did my job," or do you go, "I don't want to fan the whole leak culture. I'm not going to spread this. I'm going to sit on this, wait for it to become public knowledge, and then do it."
I feel like by then it's already been out there.
Exactly, and this is one of those things. Is, you know, like, that's what irritates me, is that in the world of video game news, you know, if you sit on information, it's worthless. You know,
left in the dust essentially, because everyone else is going to jump on it.
Exactly. And that's why I always have such a moral dilemma when I see things on like Reddit and NeoGAF, and I'm always like, do I want to report about it? Don't I?
As someone who thinks personally that hype culture could maybe do with a bit of deflating, I come pretty heavily on the side of report it, unless it's like a personal confiding situation. Then don't do it.
Yeah.
what happens when you become like Kotaku and you're just reporting every single leak, quote unquote, that's happening, regardless of how true it is?
Well, I mean, that's always the thing. Whenever you post about the leak, you're going to have to claim at the beginning that obviously
this is a rumor or this is a leak. This might not be true and stuff like that.
This is not substantiated beyond the fact that we heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially.
I just feel like it's always, whenever I handle leaks, I always feel like I'm walking on eggshells because I never know quite how to handle it. And there's always an inner battle in me in terms of what I want versus what's good for the quote unquote company. And it's always, I think that's why I'm always so bitter against leaks, because whenever I see a leak, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I know if I don't, I'm putting us at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little metaphor for you to mull over, Ben.
Okay, go on.
You're in a little submarine.
Is it yellow?
It's any color you want it to be.
Okay.
Make it yellow.
It has to be yellow, yeah.
And you've sprung a little leak, a little bit of water's coming in. Do you try and cover it up with your finger? Yeah, you do. Oh no, there's another one. Oh, another one. Oh, they're everywhere. Now what do? Do you try and cover up all those leaks and not let them do their damage? Or do you fuck the fish and let your offspring survive?
I
don't even know. I'm gonna have to mull over that, man, because I don't know what my immediate response is, other than thank you, probably.
You're welcome.
I was so interested and intrigued with your metaphor you were going for. It was so serious. Then it's just...
I was expecting like some like fight or flight response, like
metaphor you're gonna throw out, but
no, he was just straight like, do you die or do you fuck a fish?
I'm not gonna lie. When we opened this podcast, I already had the idea that I wanted Ben to fuck a fish, and I came up with the excuse.
You saw your moment. You had to jump right on.
Kudos, man. Great A.
Thank you. I did it. I'm the hero.
Okay. I will hold my hands up. I'll issue a little apology. I may or may not have said that I disliked EA Access in the last episode of the Bulletin broadcast, but I kind of want to go back on my word a little bit, maybe. It came out this week that EA are going to be adding Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Star Wars Battlefront, and EA Sports UFC 2. So you pay £4 a month to gain unlimited access to these games, as well as access to trials before they release.
I mean, for that price point, it's just kind of like you're getting all these games. I mean, not for free, obviously, because you're paying, but you're not paying the retail price for all these games as well. So
let's work this out. The noteworthy games are Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Star Wars Battlefront, UFC 2, Dragon Age, Titanfall, FIFA 15, Need for Speed Rivals. That's 7 games for £4.
Yeah.
Unlimited access.
It's a pretty cool deal. It's basically they're going for the Netflix model, which honestly I think is actually a pretty consumer-friendly model. I think it's a situation where both sides win. So I'm happy to see this happen, and obviously it's quite a low price. So if it does what it says on the tin, go for it. I mean, I'm not particularly into those games, so if it were like for another company which has games that I'm semi interested in, then I'd be all for it.
All over them.
The thing is as well,
getting early too. Like,
yeah, you get access to 10 hours of Battlefield 1 from the 13th of October, which is 8 days before it releases.
I might do it because.
Do you know what? If it's one of those,
bothered to buy Battlefield 1.
Dude, 10 hours, I'm pretty sure you can play most of, if not the full campaign. And it's the full game you gain access to as well,
Yeah.
So I get 10 hours of gameplay, or I start it and then the clock is ticking for 10 hours?
You start it and the clock is...
Yeah, so how does that work? I mean, because there's trials on if you're
I
on Xbox.
assume it's in a similar way to Steam. So like it's like 6.7 hours played, and then when it hits 10, that's it. So it's literally
It's cut off.
you can play 5 hours, come back in a week and a half, play another 5.
All right,
See,
I might do it.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm
I feel
kind
like
of.
that would be an idea if this game is really a game that's you can see yourself playing for years. You could be like, okay, now I played 10 hours. Now I actually want to go out and purchase this game because it's a game that I'm going to be playing for a while.
I mean, the thing is, my friends have stopped playing Star Wars Battlefront. They've actually, I think all bar one have actually returned it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if they were still playing it, I'd be like, do you know what? I don't want to buy it, but for £4 a month, yeah, I'll pay it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with Battlefront, I mean, I felt like I got the full experience just playing the beta. I mean, I out of the beta, I was like, okay, that's fine. It didn't feel like I needed to purchase the game. I feel like I did everything that I could have.
Yeah, I mean, people talking to me, they was like, oh, you got to play Hero Hunt. I'm like, okay, what's that? And they're like, well, it's like the main game, but you play as the heroes. It's like, okay, so pretty much nothing different. No, it's completely different. It's really not, though, is it?
Mm-hmm.
But Ben, Luke Skywalker has a lightsaber at one point.
He also has, like, one hand.
Yeah, he does.
So what?
No need to judge him. Jeez.
Wow, thanks, Ben.
He lost his hand and he's got an abusive relationship with his father.
Yeah, he has daddy issues. I mean, it's cute, I get it, but like
it's cute.
I don't know. I played the beta pretty much like Jared. I played the beta and I was like, okay, cool. That's a good game, Oh wow, it's Battlefield with Star Wars noises, Oh look, pew pew pew, yay.
I felt like it was kind of a Battlefield game with a Star Wars skin just slapped on it.
I really hope this doesn't become a trend, okay? Because EA seem to be doing this. Like, they released Battlefront 3, and then they released Hardline, and then they was like, okay, so everything seems to be... They have a new theory. So, Hardline was like, oh, we're going to make it cops and robbers. Let's test this and see how it works. So they released it, and then it flopped, and then they're like, okay, cool, we're not going to do that again. Let's do Battlefront. Let's reskin Battlefield and make it Star Wars. Let's play on people's nostalgia. And they probably feel it did well. I feel that, now...
I feel like I still know people that do play Star Wars, like, every single
initially,
day. Like, they still play Battlefield.
Yeah, and I feel like it was initially successful, but...
I think commercially Battlefront probably fucking rocked.
Dude,
like,
yeah,
in
come
terms
on.
of...
It already had a huge backing before. Like, people that played the original Battlefront and Battlefront 2 were all extremely excited for this new Battlefront to come out. So,
I was, but as soon as I realized it was under DICE and under EA, I toned down my excitement by quite a bit, and I played the demo, and actually it made me more excited. And I quite enjoyed the game. I feel like I got my money's worth, I dare say. I think I'm probably one of the people I know that likes Battlefront the most.
Wow.
But I still stand by the fact that it is nowhere near as good as the original Star Wars Battlefronts. It did not go in the direction that those Star Wars Battlefront games should have gone. It just went into full shooter instead of exploring the whole shooter/RTS mix that there's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't go in the direction that everyone would have liked it to have gone. They went in their safe cash grab direction. Fine. Fuck it. It doesn't matter that much.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you think people would have been upset if it was just like Battlefront 1 and 2, saying like, oh, they were lazy and they just copied what the old one did?
This is the plight of the modern day gamer. If you don't innovate, you're just cash grabbing, and if you innovate, is what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah.
There's
too similar to the old
a
thing.
crowd of people that fucking hate what you're doing, no matter what you're doing.
That's true.
It's always going to happen. Fallout 4 was getting universal praise until it came out, and then a whole bunch of people fucking hated it, and a whole bunch of other people quietly like it. I like to think that there's a very vocal majority. Well, I don't know, maybe vocal 50%, maybe a bit more. I can never tell, but I think a lot of people quietly really like Fallout 4.
Do you know what, right? I'm actually...
I hate this game, then it's more I secretly love it.
Do you know, like, honestly, a friend of mine, her stepdad, he gave me the best piece of advice that I've ever had when it comes to reviewing something and like holding it in its merit. And I remember him asking me, like, he's a very big movie buff, and he was like, "Do you like this movie?" And I was like, "No." And he's, "Why not?" I was like, "Well, it's shit compared to the original." And he lectured me for like 15 minutes about the importance of holding something on its own. Like, yes, it's a part of a series, it's a part of a franchise, but it's an entity on its own. And I feel that Fallout 4 on its own is a good game.
Yes.
Compared to 3, New Vegas, and the earlier games, it's dog shite. But as its own entity, it's got nothing on New Vegas. New Vegas was 10 times better.
Oh, poor Greg.
As its own entity, it is a good game. It didn't deserve Game of the Year, but it is a good game. But compared to New Vegas, I'm sorry. Why? New Vegas had the reputation system, man. That was the one thing I fucking loved about that game.
New Vegas was...
Vegas either.
New Vegas was like a gorgeous game, don't get me wrong. But that game had its flaws.
Oh, it did have its flaws, yeah.
Fallout 4, I wouldn't call it a gorgeous game, but I think Fallout 4 is a very good game. And that game does have its flaws too.
The thing that I never got was people were slagging off the fact that Fallout 4 had first-person shooter elements. Or shooter elements, I should say, because you can play third-person as well. I don't get it. Come on, it's a game where your sole survival relies on you being able to shoot somebody else faster than they can shoot you.
Well, those people are probably... there's a very... they are pretty vocal from what I see, but they're a very small subset of people who don't like where the Fallout series has gone and much prefer the old style Fallout 1, Fallout 2 sort of thing. And they're the people that play Wasteland 2 and wank about it.
But if a game has... I feel like Bethesda couldn't have won in that situation, because if Fallout 4 hadn't have had updated shooter elements, people would be like, it's outdated, VATS doesn't work as well, and the fact you can't aim down sights is stupid. But they brought it along, and I wouldn't say a vast majority, but quite a few people slammed them for making you able to shoot somebody without using VATS.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you're wrong in someone's eyes.
It all goes back to this.
It's either it's too far from what the older one was, or it's too similar to what the older one was. So it's just no one's going to be happy.
Speaking of similarities, let's talk about Dual Universe. The last thing we have to discuss.
This looks really interesting, honestly. As I was reading through this, I was like, in theory, this sounds...
I am so on the bench about this game. So on the bench.
Reason why, with another game that came out just recently as well, too, which we won't name that one. Just
the cash grab.
But...
Do you know... It's... The problem I have is that it's all well and good promising something, but it just seems like... So basically, Dual Universe is a MMO space exploration game. But unlike He Who Shall Not Be Named, everyone is in the same place.
Unlike the MMO game built by Death Eaters.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It may as well have been, man. But everyone is in the same universe. You can interact with others. And the cool thing is that, I'll put some trailers on the screen, but everything in the game is reportedly built by players. I've watched videos on their YouTube channel of a fucking space station, like a full-on space station that had interior and everything built by players.
Like you said, there's no limits to... It says there's no limit in size either. Like you said, they can create giant spaceships too.
Honestly, man, this was like the size of the fucking... what's the name of the big ass ship in Star Wars? The actual the big command ship.
The Death Star?
No, not the Death Star. The one that looks like a big Dorito.
I'm gonna get a bunch of shit for that.
The Super Star Destroyer, the Executor.
Yeah, it was like that kind of size, and it just blew me away. But I was like, okay, that's cool because that's just like 5 or 6 people who have built that over the space of how many months.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when you have thousands and thousands of people? I mean, this game is the 3rd most funded game of 2016 on Kickstarter.
That's crazy. I mean, in theory, if it works, it'll be amazing. I mean, all these people can come together and make this universe that's created by players. It's created by everybody else.
But if it doesn't work, it's going to be worse than He Who Shall Not Be Named.
I love the trust in gamers that they made Voldemort their champion.
Oh, whoa!
They made Voldemort their champion. They gave Voldemort
double.
millions of pounds or dollars, if you're Jared, and they made Voldemort their champion, and then they hated it because Voldemort turned out to be Voldemort. So
they did everything but parade him through the streets. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and they killed Muggles. So now we've already moved on to a new champion. Yeah. Hopefully this one isn't Voldemort as well.
This one is the Messiah,
this one's
man.
Like Neville or something.
This game is like being praised as if it's like the fucking gaming equivalent of the second coming of Jesus. Like seriously, people are fucking like. Everyone I've seen talking about this game has either said they've either been on the far side of it's gonna flop, it's too ambitious, it won't work, the servers will clog, it will be laggy as fuck, or holy fucking shit, this is what I've been waiting for 4 years when Voldemort was saying everything that he was gonna do. And the only thing that worries
on this podcast, it's great.
The only thing that worries me is that this game would be ambitious enough for a AAA company.
That's what it seems like. I mean, if
and these
all
are
of it
just
goes through, then
this is just a small company in Paris. And don't get me wrong, I mean they have what, €5,500. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but like what how much of that's going to go on servers just to be able to run the fucking capacity for the players?
Oh, I guarantee a good portion of it, because I mean, if it's a shared universe where everyone can interact with each other as well, then it'll have to be massive.
Let's see what it says. Yeah, so it says here, the game provides a centralized and unique persistent universe shared by everyone at the same time with no instances, zones, or transition. Everything is player-made and player-driven. You can freely modify the universe by creating structures with no limit in size, from spaceships to giant orbital stations, giving birth to empires and civilization while managing in-game economy, politics, trade, and warfare.
Okay, so now we're not just talking like a bunch of people in a space. We're talking about massive structures and things going on in this massive space.
Dude, we're talking about like, I'm the first person on this planet. I claim this planet. I'm going to get my friends to come and help me build a civilization and attempt to take over the universe.
This sounds like a huge undertaking. I think what they need, the money they've already got, that's probably pretty... I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't know fucking shit about game development, but that kind of money is probably a pretty firm bedrock. And yeah, honestly, I think they might need to do something like going... early access. I mean, if it's does what it says on the tin, and if the very bedrock and the basics of the game is what it is, then that will bring like interest. If people are playing it and going, "This is really good," hey, Voldemort, come over here and watch this, and they do, and they cry because they realize they could have done that, but they didn't. But like people could play it and buy it, and then that would encourage it as it goes along, Minecraft style, and it'll build into something really great as it goes along.
I agree with Greg. I think if they put out like a early access for people, they can get people seeing like if this game is going to be what it was said to be, or if it's going to go down the path of He Who Shall Not Be Named.
I'm trying to find, ironically enough, I can't find anything stating how much Voldemort cost to make. You know, I've got to put it out there, you know, like, what was it? Destiny, the original, like, vanilla Destiny had £100 million budget.
Which is crazy.
£500,000 in terms of game development, in terms of the scale that they're thinking, is fuck all. I mean, you're talking like what? Not even 1%. Literally, they're getting 0.5% of the budget of Destiny.
Do they have like, hey, we want this? This is our like what we need for our Kickstarter, or they just throwing it out there?
It's been funded. It's been funded. It finished.
It's been funded.
It finished today. It received €565,000.
Interesting.
And you know, come on. I mean, what, like 100,000 of that's going to go on servers? Logic would say that another big chunk of that's going to go on extra staff for concept art and level design and all of this kind of stuff. I want to know, like, what's to stop somebody building like the universe version of of NATO or something? Like, what's to stop me banding together with 30 people and just going like, we are the universe, please fucking deal with it. That's my own, assuming that everything goes right. My only worry is that this game is just going to be a constant struggle for fucking universe overlord.
That's what I feel. People are just going to kill each other, and who can control the universe? It's going to be the giant battle.
Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say this game probably won't be coming to console.
Probably not.
No, it'll probably be a solely PC game.
It has to be, surely. Given what they're planning, it has to be.
Development for consoles costs a lot of money anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm comparing it to Destiny, but maybe it will be cheap. And you know, with the early access program, if they have that, I mean, they must have a fair number of people backing this game, so they have their initial payment to get new teams, to get the servers, to get some sort of like semi-functioning vanilla version onto early access. And then I suppose from there, it will either snowball or it will melt. It will, you know, it will do one or the other. I feel that
really sad image. It'll snowball or it'll melt.
It's true though. Unfortunately, you know, I feel like
Voldemort's gonna melt it with his little like fire spell. He's gonna be like, oh, you thought you could be better than me? Well, fuck off, incendio.
The more I think about it, the more it feels as if this is going to be in the hands of the gaming community. Like, the more money these devs get, the better and the more of a likelihood this game's going to become. But until then, I don't know. If you're looking at backing this game, I would say expect some serious bugs and a very long development cycle.
Yeah, well, like you said, it's going to depend on the people. How much money they're putting into this game is going to reflect the quality of the game.
I mean, they could cut corners, you know, like for the early editions, they can make it so there's very limited character customization.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be like, right, instead of facial, we're gonna go just colors. So like the color of your clothes is different, and do it that way, and then kind of like. So there's a bit of a, you know, if people want to band together, they can be like, oh yeah, we're the people who wear big pink shoulder pads, you know, like whatever the fuck.
What a way to identify yourself. We're the shoulder pad gang.
Squad.
The big pink
Alliteration, man. Shoulder pad squad. Come on.
All right, sorry, man.
Come on, Greg.
Basics of writing, man. Alliteration is key. But...
Fuck off, Jared.
just throw that out there.
Just had to add that. There wasn't enough harassment in the episode, so just, you know.
Giving the people what they want.
I'm sacrifice.
I'm gonna be following this game. I'll be interested to see where it goes, but
I'll definitely keep up with it to see how it actually pans out afterwards.
I'm
And
not
if
holding
you
my
too
breath.
would like to follow it at home,
Oh yeah,
listeners, you can
everything.
follow the Games Bulletin website, where Ben will no doubt post when things important happen with it.
Unless there are leaks, in which case, yeah, you have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, in which case, fuck off.
Yeah. And on that note, I will link everything in the description. Anything that you need links to will be in there. The PlayStation videos, the Dual Universe videos, all of that kind of stuff will be in there.
Anything I want a link to.
For you, Greg, everything.
What, like just some porn or something?
No.
No.
I may have lied.
Then.
I'm not. I'm like Demi Voldemort. You know, I'm not quite there, but
We're not quite at that point yet. But
already aligning ourselves with He Who Must Not Be Named. It's 2 episodes and we're already there.
He Who Must Be Named on Certain Occasions. That's my full title.
That sounds like a mouthful.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Anyway, thank you guys if you are listening, because this is going on SoundCloud, guys.
Oh, sweet! People can listen to us.
Yeah. Instead of having to watch pictures
instead of smell us like
weird,
they do on YouTube.
Yeah, pictures of weird kittens.
Kittens and
iTunes, maybe. iTunes is a very complicated process. Like, I have to have it approved. Like, what the fuck's up with that shit? Can you believe that?
I can't believe it, Ben. I'm blown away.
It's bollocks.
After Greg's submarine metaphor, it probably won't go through then after that one.
What, do they like check it for like submarine metaphors?
That's exactly what they do,
It's
Greg.
literally, it's 0.3b in the guidelines of what not to include.
No submarine metaphors.
No.
Got it. We'll know for next time then.
Well, yeah, we'll keep it in mind. But thank you guys anyway for listening. You guys want to say anything?
Oh, would you like to go first, Jared?
You know what? I'm going to be a gentleman, Greg. You can go ahead and go.
Oh, but last time I did that and you were upset.
No, it's okay. I'm honored. You can go first.
Oh, you better be honored.
Well,
all right. So, I have. It's actually I recorded it. I recorded it today. The next Shades of Greg coming up on the Games Bulletin site soon. I'm not going to say tomorrow because it never works out when I say that. But soon, in the next few days.
Greg's a liar.
Confirmed liar. I've
Kill,
gone too far with my games journalism, guys.
just kill his flow, man. Why you gotta do that?
But yeah, that's my thing, and it's about tower defense games.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay, that would be
you can
interesting.
deal with that.
Oh, that was awesome. Good job, Greg.
Thanks, Jared. You are.
You're welcome.
The fucking like the test in the voice was unreal. Jared, do you want to have anything to say?
In your voice. No, you guys can check me out. I'll be on the Games Bulletin website posting articles.
I thought there was more to that. Okay.
Oh no, that's it. I got nothing.
I was expecting the rest of the thing. I was like, oh, is that half sentence or what? Like, okay, cool.
I should have went first. Now I look like crap compared to Greg.
This is why I said go first, because last
You
week you
should have
said
warned me. I
Goddamn.
knew I had nothing to say. You should have known.
Your Americans can't do
Jared,
anything
Jared
right, can you?
drowns cats.
There we go. That's how we'll end it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Title of the
That's
episode,
his
Drowns
big
cats.
Right. Sorry, I've lost composure. Anyway, we will be back next week doing this kind of stuff again. Maybe there'll be better news to talk about.
Yeah, you don't get rid of us that easily.
An
No,
outro.
even if nobody watches, we're doing this still, so you're not getting rid of us.
Yeah, no, we're stuck here.
I'm pretty sure there's like a metaphor I could make, but I don't want to make it. So
Hey,
I'm just gonna.
submarines. No submarines.
No submarines. Okay, see you later, people.
Oh well.
Bye.